Today we're making Korean fried chicken and we're starting right now. So Korean fried chicken, otherwise known as Korean street food. Really delicious dish. Learned how to make this years ago. Sous chef I worked with was from Korea. Every so often, if we had a little extra time in the restaurant, he would make this and everyone went nuts for it. Watched him make it. He told me about a secret ingredient that's put in the sauce that they use in the chain restaurants in Korea. I'll show you that a little later. Right now I got some chicken thighs. It's best to use chicken thighs. It's juicier, it's dark meat. You could use chicken breast, but you really don't want to overcook the chicken breast because it will be dry. You have more leeway with the chicken thighs. So it's traditionally used with the chicken thighs. We're going to cube these up. We're going to marinate them for about an hour, and then I'll show you how we make these. All right, so we got our chicken thighs here. I got 4 nice large chicken thighs here. Just going to trim off some of this excess fat, bone fragments hanging off, anything that doesn't look good. Like right here. See that? Definitely don't want to bite into that. Another one here. All right, that looks good. We don't want to cut these too big. Want them about this size. Looks good. This is considered street food. It's supposed to be very easy to eat. One bite. That looks good. I'll do that for the rest of these. Chicken's all portioned. Now we're just gonna make a quick marinade for it. Really get some good flavor in there. I'm gonna take 2 teaspoons of salt, teaspoon of fresh cracked pepper. If you have the pre-ground pepper, you could use that, but always try and use fresh cracked pepper. 3 tablespoons of rice vinegar. Got half a teaspoon of sugar. And we're just gonna grate in 2 cloves, fresh garlic, and about a teaspoon or so of ginger. Give that a mix. Make sure all the chicken's coated. Ideally, you want to let this sit overnight. I'm going to let it sit for an hour. Give those flavors enough time to develop. Cover this with plastic wrap, so everything in my fridge doesn't smell like garlic and ginger. It might not be a bad thing. Put it in the fridge, check on it in an hour. Okay, our chicken's been marinating for an hour. Took it out of the fridge. Got the oil behind me heating up. Got everything ready to go. Got our tray lined with a wire rack. We want to bring that oil to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 176 degrees Celsius. And we're going to fry this chicken twice. That's going to be the key to getting that nice, crispy chicken that the Korean street food is just known for. And the way we're going to do that is I'm going to make a batter with potato starch. Some people use tempura batter or cornstarch or even all-purpose flour, but I was shown to use potato starch. So we're going to use equal parts potato starch and water, mix that up into a batter, coat our chicken with it nicely, and then we're going to fry it once just to cook it through. So we're going to put in a cup of potato starch and 1 cup of cold water. Whisk up this batter, add it to our chicken, then we'll be ready to fry it. Get all the lumps out, coat our chicken. Another 1/4 cup here. I want this to be more like a thicker batter. That looks better. Now it's coating the chicken. It's the consistency we want. Chicken's nice and coated. Now we'll check our oil. We'll begin to fry it. So now we can add our chicken. Make sure you add 1 piece at a time. We don't want to crowd the pan and we don't want to clump these up. Always put it away from you. Don't just throw it in. We don't want any hot oil splashing. Thanks. 1 at a time. And we'll let these go about 5 to 6 minutes. Depending on the size of your pan, you might have to do this in batches. because the more protein we add to the oil, the more the temperature is going to drop. I think I'm going to have to do this in 2 batches. Move them around so no one's sticking. Let those cook. Right now we're just trying to cook them through. We don't want to worry about perfect golden brown because we're going to get that on the second fry. So these have been cooking for 7 minutes now. You can see the color beginning to turn. So these are ready to take out. We'll carefully remove these. You can see that crust. The potato starch looks really beautiful on them. Put them on our wire rack. We don't want to salt them when we take these out. Remember, we marinated them and we're going to add that beautiful sauce. So I'm going to remove these and then we'll fry the rest of them. But before we do, we want to make sure that our temperature is back at 350 because we lost a lot of heat from frying this chicken. So I'll take these out, fry the rest of them, and we'll be ready to make our sauce. We got the oil back up to 350 degrees, and now we'll add the rest of our chicken. See, if we would have just thrown everything in all at once, it would have crowded the pan, everything would have stuck together, and we wouldn't get a nice crispy result. It would just be a big fried mess. So that's why you always want to work in batches. If you have a smaller pan than this, it might take you 3 or 4 batches. Same deal, one at a time. Add the rest of our chicken, 7 minutes or so. Once all the chicken's in, same as the first batch, move everyone around. All right, it's been another 7 minutes. These are looking ready. Take these out, put them on our rack. And we'll get our sauce going. And then we'll fry these once more, finish them up. Okay, we fried all our chicken once, have it on our wire rack, we'll set that aside. Before we fry it again, we'll prepare our sauce. So I have 3 teaspoons of gochujang here, which is a Korean red pepper paste. I'll link in the description the one I got it off Amazon, but you can find it in your grocery store, usually in the international aisle. They usually have it. So to that I add 2 teaspoons of soy sauce, 3 tablespoons of ketchup. Add that to our pan. I'll show you this secret ingredient I got here. I have 2 tablespoons of seedless raspberry preserves. This is the secret ingredient. This is what I was told that all the chain restaurants in Korea use. It's their secret ingredients, or actually some I heard that they use strawberry. You could use any fruit jam, but that's the secret ingredient to give it that added flavor. So I have raspberry jam. I have raspberry jam left over from my rainbow cookies. Check out that video if you didn't see it. So we're just going to add 2 tablespoons of good honey. Sweeten it up a bit. Along with our raspberry jam. Tablespoon of our rice vinegar. 1/3 of a cup of water. And I'm going to add a teaspoon or so of granulated garlic. So we're just going to cook this to a nice glazed consistency. About 4 or 5 minutes or so we'll let this cook. Okay, our sauce looks good. It's nice and reduced. It's ready to glaze our chicken. So we'll turn this off, put it aside. We'll fry our chicken and finish it off in the sauce. So for the second fry, we're going to put all the chicken in at once because we're just going to get it crispy. Everything's cooked through. I bumped the temperature to 370 degrees Fahrenheit or 187 degrees Celsius. And these are going to be delicious. Promise you that. Let these go another 5 minutes or so till they're perfectly golden brown, nice and crunchy. All right, it's been another 7 minutes, so we'll give it 7 minutes each fry. And that's the double fry. That's what really gives it that crispiness, and it really makes this Korean street food that classic crunch. We're going to take this out, and we're just going to heat our sauce back up and glaze these up, and they'll be ready to eat. Listen to them hit the tray. It's just like, you can just hear that it's crispy. That potato starch, it's really good to achieve that crispiness. Beautiful color. And another thing is a lot of oil here, but let this oil cool, strain off any bits, and it can be used again. It doesn't have to be thrown out. I'm genuinely excited to eat this. All right, so add our chicken. You want to get it in the sauce fast because the longer these sit, they're just going to be gone. I'm just going to eat them all. All right. And just coat them in this beautiful sauce. Spicy, a little sweet, sticky, delicious Korean fried chicken right here. All right. See if you just give this a listen here. Yeah, that's pretty crispy. A little too spicy for my daughter, so keep some plain. But I'm gonna have to sneak one just to see how crispy. I don't know if the mic's picking that up. And to plate it, paper bowl here, because this is Korean street food. I'm gonna plate this in disposable. This isn't something we sit down and eat with a knife and fork. Paying respect to the Korean street food, to eat this in a disposable container with a toothpick or bamboo stick, any disposable. Just some sesame seeds on top to garnish. Get my toothpick in here. It's a little hot. That really is amazing. Just the right amount of heat, just a touch of sweetness, crispy. Man, that is so good, for real. I have to take another piece, I'm sorry. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for new videos each and every week. I'm just gonna stand here and finish this because this is so good. We'll see you next time. Thanks again for watching.